Welcome, everyone. I'm Communications Manager Jackie Boyd. If you're having technical difficulties tonight, please email me at askopal@orlandparklibrary.org so I can help you work it out. That's askopl@orlandparklibrary.org. Or you can call us at 708-428-5114 for help. But if you hear me and you see me right now, then everything is all right. If you purchased a wine tasting ticket, please take your wine out of the refrigerator now and open each bottle in preparation for the wine tasting. Please see that you do have a comment box available to you below this video feed. You are able to talk to us and other guests in the comment box. Stay with us until the end to see if you are one of tonight's raffle winners. We will begin now with Library Board President Joanna Leafblad.
Welcome everyone to the Building Our Future Virtual Gala. My name is Joanna Leontini Leafblad, and I'm the president of the Board of Library Trustees here at the Orland Park Public Library. We would like to thank the Friends of the Library and library staff for working so hard to pull this gala together. We would also like to thank the sponsors of this event, like Riza Ford and Lincoln, 94 West, Lake Catherine Nature Center, the Orland Park Area Chamber of Commerce, the McLaughlin family, Ashling Companion Home Care, the Polish and Slavic Credit Union, Dahl Landscaping, House of Music, Dancing Marlin, Inside Looks by Debbie Ross, Nothing Bundt Cakes, Jeffrey Lamorte Salon, Waymeyer Photography, and all the wonderful and extremely talented artists who donated paintings and breathtaking works of art to our silent auction. The silent auction is going on right now. Don't forget to go over and bid on the fabulous items up for auction tonight. Remember, it's all for a good cause. Let's remember why we're here tonight. We're here to do a grand reveal of the library's finished renovation and to thank local businesses and families who have donated to the library's capital campaign fund to keep the library doing what it does best. That is, of course, assisting and enhancing the quality of life, providing materials, free programs and services, providing opportunities to develop technical proficiencies, and helping expand literacy in the community equally to all community members. We would like to announce tonight a very special donation. The Orland Park Public Library is known as the Eileen S. Andrew Library for a reason. Eileen was one of the first champions of literacy in Orland Park 83 years ago. The Orland Park Women's Club decided to make the founding of a public library its major activity that year. And Mr. Roy Labey donated the Purple Candle Building, the very first location of Orland Park's library. In 1975, when the community the library serves had grown too large for Purple Candle Building to accommodate, it was the Andrew Corporation that donated the building on Park Lane. In 1980, the Andrew Foundation donated an addition to the building on Park Lane. This year, the Eileen S. Andrew Foundation donated the funds to make the library's nature center, the backyard. A big thank you to Eileen S. Andrew Foundation. We would also like to thank Darvin Furniture and Mattress tonight for a generous donation that has helped the library establish the sensory space. This is a space where patrons with special needs can go for a break. The library takes its mission to accommodate all Orland Park residents very seriously. Mr. Harris at Darvin recognized the need and really came through to help the library establish the space. Tonight, we would also like to recognize business owner Mr. Flavio of Today's Business Solutions for donating the Tech Center. Libraries are changing with the times, and these times called for the library to establish a tech center with tools and machines to engrave, cut, and 3D print. The room I am sitting in now is the library's large meeting room. In here, the library hosts board meetings, children's programming, concerts, historical presentations, and meetings from community groups like the Boy Scouts and homeowners associations. This room was not always so big. The library has had to limit attendance of popular library programs in the past, like Holly Jolly Storytime, due to space constraints. As part of the library's renovation, the large meeting room can accommodate 200 patrons on an average day. And in a time where we're all required to socially distance, the large meeting room has helped the library space people out. The library repurposed its underused coat closet and part of the meeting room hall to create this beautiful new space. Now, let's exit the meeting room hall and see the new entryway to the children's library. We are very fortunate to have an entire floor dedicated to children at the Orland Park Public Library. Though it can be confusing to know where to go when one enters the library for the first time, this is why, as part of the renovation, the entranceway to the youth services has been redone to be more welcoming to children and families. As we progress down the hall in youth services, we see to the left the new tween space that we have decided to call the in-between. Youth in grades 3 to 5 have always been big users of the library, but they've never had a space of their own. Preschool children have the preschool area, and teens have the teen area. Now tweens have their own space. Further down the hall, we see 2 doors on the right. The first door is the sensory space that I talked about earlier, and the second door is a lactation room for mothers that we are calling the Nest. The sensory space includes a bubble mirror, a textured marble fidget board, cosmic liquid tiles, a 9-piece tactile panel set, a calming bubble tube, and soft seating. Next door, the Nest is open to all mothers that have their children with them, or not. Mothers should feel comfortable nursing in the library, but if they wish to express or nurse in private, that can be accommodated here. We offer special thank you to the local chapter of the La Leche League, who offered their insights on this project. In fact, we would like to thank all of Orland Park's residents for filling out surveys and stickering boards in the lobby of the library so our staff could make sure that the newly renovated areas of the library building fit the needs of the Orland Park community. Continuing on, you will see to your left the new preschool area. Not all furniture in the preschool area has always been as child-friendly as it could be. We wanted to make sure our smallest patrons felt comfortable and engaged at the library. Because of COVID-19, puppets, Legos, and puzzles have been taken off the floor. These will return after the library fully reopens. We also changed something about the Storycraft room. Can you see what it is? The Storytime area and the craft area sit side by side with a divider between. In order to keep the little ones from running into the craft room, those dividers were closed during Storytime. But that excluded all of the beautiful natural light from the Storytime room. With the new divider, light can pass through. You will see just outside the craft room the library's new backyard. The backyard is intended for youth and adults at different times to enjoy nature and learn through doing. The backyard includes a water table, a stump jump, a place to look over the pond, chalkboards, frosted glass to project books and movies onto, and a nice area to sit and have a good book discussion. Now, I would like to introduce you to Library Trustee Bridget Lindblom. She's the chair of the Capital Campaign Committee for the library and a voracious reader.
Thanks, Joanna. My very first job as a teen was at the Orland Park Library on Park Lane. I was a page in the children's department and helped with the programs. Before the pandemic, I was at the library at least once a week with my 2 kids for story time and to pick out books. My love for this library runs deep. Dr. David Lankes, the director of the Library and Information Science Department at the University of South Carolina, says, "Bad libraries build collections, good libraries build services, great libraries build communities." Here in Orland Park, this library is a very important part of our community, and that's why I'm excited to show you some of our new renovations. Our original plan was to hold an in-person gala in early April, where we would have given tours of the newly modernized areas of the library. Unfortunately, things changed with COVID-19, but with challenges come opportunities, so we reinvented our gala with this all-new approach. If you love the library like I do, please take a moment to bid on our silent auction items tonight. We have a great wine and cheese basket, several autographed books, new rentals, and other items. We would like to thank all our sponsors for their generous donations. We are so grateful. If you are grateful for the library too, please consider becoming a friend of the library. The Friends of the Library is a nonprofit organization dedicated to encouraging public interest and financial support of the library. They support various programs and cultural activities held at the library for the enjoyment of the entire community. Their involvement in tonight's festivities make all of your donations tax deductible. I'm here in the new multi-purpose room at the library. This room seats 25 comfortably, and eventually community organizations will be able to reserve this room after the library finishes its COVID-19 reopening plan. Just outside the multi-purpose room, you will see 2 new study rooms. The library's study rooms are very popular, so we saw a need for more of them. During the renovation, we were able to add 4 new study rooms, 2 upstairs and 2 downstairs in youth service. Continuing out of the northeast corner of the library, you will see that the Computer Commons has all new desks. These desks are ADA accessible, making it easier for all our patrons to use the computers. As we head back towards the lobby, you will see the Today's Business Solutions Tech Center that Joanna talked about earlier. The next generation of technology is available to all patrons. Next to the Tech Center, you will see the Computer Lab. While the library has always had a computer lab for programs, it was a secret to some because it had been behind a wall this whole time. With new glass walls, patrons are able to see into the computer lab, and computer classes can be observed from the outside. Similar to the backyard, the computer lab has frosted glass where we will project information about upcoming classes or other interesting services available at the library. If you look to the right, you will see that we have a new adult services reference desk to match the new desks in the Computer Commons and in youth services. Continuing down the hall, you will see that the library has a lot more outward-facing shelving. If you are like me, you love to browse the spines of books on shelves, but you also like a book cover to catch your eye. Book covers, especially for new releases, will be displayed on these A-frame shelves. Before you reach the stairs, you will see a section of the library that has changed quite a bit. With a new industrial look and its own study rooms, teens have a place to call their own. Now called the Teen Loft, it was completed earlier in the renovation, and it gives teens an enclosed space where they can work on group projects or just hang out. Special library collections like the test prep books have also been relocated here. The study booths in the loft have already become a teen favorite during the soft opening of this area. Finally, at the bottom of the library's main staircase, you will see the new Friends of the Library storefront. Before the renovation, you might remember seeing the recycled reeds shelves just inside the library entrance. We will be adding a donor wall in that area to recognize all the generous donors to the library's capital campaign fund. If you make a large donation tonight, you could see your name on that wall soon. So the recycled reeds has relocated to its own storefront at the bottom of the staircase. The Friends of the Orland Park Library have set up shop, literally. Friends sort through community donations and excess library materials and sell them for $1 or $2 in the recycled reeds. Proceeds support various programs and cultural activities here at the library. We are so thrilled to partner with the Aileen S. Andrew Foundation, Darvin Furniture, and Today's Business Solutions for 3 of our brand new areas. If you are part of a community business or a family that loves the library, you might consider sponsoring the Teen Loft, the In-Between, the Computer Lab, or the Multi-Purpose Room. Thank you so much for your support and interest in the Orland Park Public Library. I look forward to seeing you in the stacks in the near future.
Thanks, Bridget. If you have purchased a wine tasting ticket, please go get your wines and glasses now. The wine tasting will begin momentarily. If you will not be participating in the wine tasting, please go see the silent auction. We would like to thank a few more of our event sponsors. Peggy at the Simple Greek donated a family 4-pack. Ashland Care Academy donated part of the wine and cheese basket. We have a gift card and hair care products from Jeffrey Lamort Salon. Bid for yourself, or maybe these would make a great Christmas gift. Also, see that we have music lessons available. Alyssa Blomberg at House of Music was very generous and donated a whole month of music lessons to the silent auction. For those parents looking to gift experiences rather than items to their children this Christmas, this might be the perfect silent auction item for you. Looking for something to do together with your spouse or family member? See the donation from Silver Lake Country Club. Maybe golf is the game you can share. Sip Wine Bar just opened in Tinley Park. It has been a pleasure to work with Neil and Don. The wine tasting starts now.
Hello, everybody. My name is Don Jaros, and I'm one of the owners at Sip Wine Bar in Tinley Park. We're very excited to be part of this virtual gala and support the Orland Park Library. Today, we're going to be showcasing some Linford wines, which basically there's going to be 3 different wines we're going to walk through: a Windy City White, Windy City Red, and a Cranberry wine. And here to showcase some of those wines, we have Christina Anderson with us, and she'll be walking through some of the basics as well as doing some tasting and having some fun.
And thank you so much for having me, Dawn. I'm so excited to be with you guys today. We are going to, as he mentioned, try 3 different wines. We're going to do Windy City White. That's a play on words. So it's like windy, but Vin. So windy and Windy City. And we also are going to do the Windy City White, Windy City Red, and a cranberry wine. And before we really get started, I love to start out with giving a little crash course in wine. So for those of you that have never had Linford wines before, we are based in Roselle, Illinois. We have been there for 41 years this year, and we produce over 70 different varietals. And we are so excited to pair up with SIP. My cousin just happened to be at their place the other day and said, they're carrying their wine. And we started talking. And so we decided to do this together. And we're excited. We absolutely love Orland Park, and we love that whole area. And I'm going to teach you how to do a little tasting. So number 1 rule of thumb, I always say, if it's the only thing you learn today, it is to hold the glass by the stem. The reason why is, number 1, it's part of the C. So when you taste wine, there's 5 different S's in tasting: see, swirl, smell, sip, and savor. So the first thing you want to do is really look at the glass of wine. And if you look at a white wine, for instance, if you go to a restaurant, the reason they have white tablecloths in restaurant history is because white is the best background to truly look at wine. And if you would hold this up to a white background, you would see this is a really pretty, almost pale straw color to it. This is our Windy City White, which we're going to talk about in a minute. And what you want to do is you want to be able to look at it. And if your fingerprints all over the glass, you won't be able to really look at it. So that's why we're holding it by the stem. I always say I should work for TV because you see people in these TV shows and they're always holding it wrong. They're holding it like this. That comes from brandy, because brandy, your hand would actually warm that wine and make the stir the esters and release the aromas. But with a wine, we're wanting to serve it to you at the proper temperature. So again, not fingerprints on the glass, but also so we don't warm the wine. So when we look at the wine, if you notice here in America, our wines tend to be very filtered and clean. That's just because shelf life, we sell our wines at all these fun places, including SIP, and we want them to last. So a lot of them are filtered, so it's going to be nice and clean. Also, what you're looking for, a white wine gets darker with age and a white wine gets lighter with age because it loses pigmentation. So you'll notice this is still a nice, light, young wine. So the next thing we're going to do is swirl. And what you're going to do, you see people swirling their glasses. The reason they're doing this is, number 1, because it's been in the bottle with no oxygen on it, and it's just been sitting there and it's really tight. So what you want to do is swirl that around and release those aromas. So put your nose right inside the glass after you've been swirling it around. Now that's fun, but I'm going to tell you something else to do. Don't do this when you're out and about. Do this when you're at home in the safety of your friends and family. Put your hand on the top of the glass and swirl. What's happening right now? We're capturing all those aromas between the wine and our hand. Now put your nose in and smell. It jumps out at you. So this is a really great way to start learning how to smell wine. Do this at home. But the swirling, what we're doing, we're just releasing those aromas. So when we go to smell wine, for instance, on a white, what you're looking for are the aromas of the grape, of the style of the winemaker. This is a crash course, so I can't go too in depth with it. But on a white, you're going to be looking for the fruits. You're going to be looking, does it have any oak aging on it? Is it stainless steel aged, so it's clean and light? Is it mineral? Is it orange or lemon or lime? And that's what we're going to be going to smell, because now we're into our 3rd S, which is the smell. So go ahead and smell that. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, of course, my favorite, and Dawn, I know this is probably your favorite, the sip portion of it. So when you taste wine, you taste 4 different tastes on your palate: sweet, sour, salt, and bitter, all in that order. You also get, a lot of people call it your 5th taste. It's a taste of umami on the sides of your palate. And I consider umami a really good example is soy sauce. It has that, it's hard to describe, but soy sauce is a really good explanation of it. So when you taste some of that wine, see where you taste it on your palate. If you ever have red wine and you think it tastes bitter, very honestly, it's probably being served to you too warm. Red wines, if you've always heard they should be served room temperature, it's probably being served too warm if you're serving it in America at room temperature, because the term room temperature came from Europe and their room temperature is about 65 degrees. So for your champagnes, fruit wines, you want to have those at about 45 degrees, whites at 55 and reds at 65. Again, you get that bitter at the back if it's too warm. So chill that red wine for about 10-15 minutes in the fridge, and you're going to notice a big difference in that. So then what you're going to do after you go to sip, you're going to do my other favorite part, the savor. And that's where you really want to, think about what you smelled, what you tasted. And that's where it all comes together. And that's the joy and the fun of the 5 S's of wine. So that is literally the fastest wine tasting crash course, but I think it's a really great way to get started. So Don, you want to tell them what wine is our first wine we're having today?
So we got the Windy City White.
Yes. So Windy City White, what I love about this wine, if you notice, it has the Chicago skyline on the label. We did a competition a few years called Name That Wine, and our wine club members actually came up with the name. It's a play on words. It's a play on Windy City, Vin for wine, so Windy City. This is a beautiful white table wine. It's a blend of 63% Chardonnay, 20% Viognier, and 17% Sauvignon Blanc. It's all aged in stainless steel. It is light, it is clean, it is so much fun. If you notice, I like to give some visuals in there. So you really get a lot of that wildflower aromas, some lemon, some lime, grapefruit. I get a lot of Granny Smith apples in this, and a lot of mango too. Now, what would you think you would pair with this, Don?
So some poultry or some fish.
Absolutely. Look at this. So here I did our food pairings on this one. This is the Windy City White. So, a lot of people tend to think that a table wine can't be a great, fabulous wine. The whole idea of table wine, blends have been around for centuries and centuries and centuries. If you like Bordeaux wine, it's a blend. It's a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, Petit Verdot, Malbec. So Windy City White is one of those fun blends. And what's really great about blends is you are getting to try a wine exactly how the winemaker wanted. He was able to play with it a little bit, and they did some really fun blends. As I mentioned, it's got some of that Viognier in there, which Dawn is totally correct. A little bit of seafood would be absolutely fabulous. I even threw some chicken nuggets into that picture because, hey, let's be real. Sometimes it happens. It doesn't, I think that's what's really fun. I've been in the wine industry for a little over 20 years. And when I started, people were almost snobby about wine pairing. People were just starting to pair salmon with Pinot Noir. And, it was like, oh my gosh, it was crazy to do, red and red meat with a white wine or, salmon. But it's just so funny how it's really changed. And I'm also pairing up to some Monterey Jack cheese. This wine is super fruity. It's really balanced. Dawn, you can steal this from me. I actually call it the patio pounder because it goes down. It is really quick, right? It goes down really quickly. But again, it's good with everything from French fries to chicken McNuggets to lobster. And let's see here. I know we were talking about our car dealership that's in here. If I was thinking of a white wine that I would pair this with, it's really fun. I would have to probably put it with a pretty little white convertible.
I was going to say convertible as well.
Convertible with this one. And because we're pairing up with a library, I had to do a book. I'm an avid reader. So the book I chose for this one is Devil in the White City by Eric Larson. If you haven't read it, oh my gosh, I am a true crime person anyway. It is a true story, but I thought Devil in the White City, Windy City, and it's white, right? So that is my book pairing for that one. And you guys, are you going to be having Dawn, you're going to have this as a private label soon. Am I correct?
Correct. Yeah, we do have it in a private label. So we are labeling it for miscellaneous different companies for, gifts or whatnot. And it's worked out quite well. We're doing it for a few different wines.
That's awesome. And wine is the best gift, if you ask me. In case
Absolutely.
anyone out there, wants to know what I want for Christmas. Dreaming of a wine Christmas, right?
That's it.
So the next one I know you guys just took on too, and I know all you are probably having at home. This is our Windy City Red. And is that what you're having today, Don?
Yep, got some of that right here.
Beautiful Windy City Red. So this again, this is less of a blend than most of the time, but we try to keep our red blends pretty consistent. So this year it is 95% Cabernet Sauvignon, 5% Petite Syrah. And what I love about it, Cab is, it's the king of reds. It's the big deal. But Petite Syrah, there's nothing petite about it. Am I right, Don?
That's for
Nothing
sure.
petite. Petite Syrah is big. So our winemakers are both from Chile. Their names are Andres Basso and Rodrigo Gonzalez. And they love Petite Syrahs. They kind of consider that to be our jam, And that 5% Petite Syrah just really kicks that Cabernet Sauvignon up a little bit, kind of kills those tannins can be so big on that. And that Petite Syrah comes in like a big, heavy fruit bomb, and it just kicks it up. I love this blend. I got a little bit of mint in this one, little blueberries and blackberries. If you notice, a little bit of that American oak in there. And not only that, but some raisins. I love, whether you like raisins or not, it's the smell of the raisins that you really get on this wine. And I paired a book up with this one with one of my personal friends that I've met through the wine industry. We did a book signing a few years ago for Stan Banish. He is an Illinois cowboy, and he has a book called The Roadside, I think it's like The Roadside Attractions of Illinois. And it is the coolest book talking about the history of Illinois. You'll learn a lot as far as about wild onions and all kinds of stuff. There's even a little bit of history about wine in there. So now what would you pair this Windy City up with, Don?
You know what? I think if we're going to go stay with the vehicles again, maybe we do this with a blue pickup.
Ooh, I like that.
Pickup,
yes, with a blue pickup while picking up your Chicago pizza. That's what you need on this one.
That's absolutely.
Right? So this is on here. This one, we did this with a deep dish pizza. I absolutely love pizza, takeout pizza. If you like pepperoni, this would be really nice with pepperoni. That spicy of the pepperoni with the fruit of the blueberry would be really nice. We have Italian sausages, and maybe you can have like 1, 2, 3 hot dogs with it too, right?
Absolutely.
Mustard, no ketchup.
No ketchup.
Mustard, no ketchup. But it's also good with mushrooms. So if you think of, again, with pizza, think of like sausage mushroom pizza. Be really good with any sort of pasta with red sauce. I'd really like that with that as well. What else would you do with this Windy City Red? This would be fun to cook with too.
I think so. Yeah, that would be good to add to any kind of dish.
Absolutely.
And even with some of the meats. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the pricing of this is it's a lower, it's in a really good price range. So to me, it's one of those that, I don't like to cook with really cheap wine because I always say if you won't drink it, you shouldn't cook with it. So I love doing something that's, a little bit more economical because I'm not going to put a $40 bottle of wine in my stuff. So this is a really great wine to drink, to eat. It's kind of fabulous all the way around. And let's see. Oh, and what do we have next? We have the cranberry. I absolutely love cranberry wine. Our cranberry wine is made with 100% cranberries from Wisconsin. Did you know, Don, there are a ton of cranberry bogs up in Wisconsin?
I did not know that.
Well, now you do. Kind of actually center up. There's quite a few cranberry bogs up there. And we used to get our cranberries for many years from the East Coast, but then we started discovering all the bogs in Wisconsin. So we started getting them from up there. We also get a lot of our cherries from Door County, Wisconsin. There's not cherries in here, but if you notice, I put a cherry on this picture, and that's because it's not just cranberry. It is 100% fruit in this bottle. All we do is add the yeast and a little sugar, and it's sweet, it's tart, it's so layered. I think the great thing about fruit wines is if you have them in good balance. If you have it too sweet with wrong pH or wrong acidity, it doesn't work. But I know you've had this one, Dawn. It has that tart acidity, right? That you taste right back here.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Oh, it is so good. And you know what? You can make it into a spritzer, like with seltzer water and ice. I do that in the summer a lot. You can actually, don't tell anyone, but mix it with vodka for a martini, cranberry
We
martini.
we actually have a bunch of people that take prosecco and mix it with prosecco. I know it's like a mistletoe with cranberry juice. They've been doing it with the cranberry wine. A lot of our yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, a lot of our customers. Yep.
Absolutely. Yes. Is that what it's called? Is a mistletoe when they
A
do that?
mistletoe is what's been called when they use the cranberry juice, but it enhances it even better with the cranberry wine.
Ours is a marvelous mistletoe then.
Yes, there we go. Exactly. There
Nice.
we go. New name.
But I love the cranberry. You know, like I said, it's sweet, it's tart, it's you can have it actually. So talking about pairings, I'm going to bring this over. This pairs so good with aged cheddar cheese, it will blow your mind. There's something about it. I think it's again with that tart, it just pairs really beautiful. I know we just had Thanksgiving. It's the quintessential Thanksgiving wine, but it kind of really pairs. You can have this all year long. But at Christmas, I love cherry cheesecake. It's really good with cherry cheesecake. I also love it with sweet and sour chicken, any Asian sweet and sour dish. And you know, it's again like a spritzer. It's a lot of fun. And pairing up a book with this one, I actually chose, I love Fannie Flagg books. She's the lady who wrote Fried Green Tomatoes. And her book is The All Girls Filling Station. It's based up in Wisconsin. And I feared because of the Wisconsin cranberry bogs, we had to put those two together. So I'd like to know, Don, what car you would pair with this cranberry?
Oh, maybe like something fancy, like a candy apple red Porsche.
Yes, yes. I think that's a perfect pairing.
Something fancy. Get from those from the RZA dealerships.
From the Rizzo, that's right. So, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this tasting today. It's kind of a quick and fun little crash course in wine and our three, the Vindy City White, Vindy City Red, and Cranberry. But we absolutely love supporting local, and we love that SIP is supporting local. And if you haven't been to SIP, you really need to go. It's absolutely fantastic. But thank you all so much for including us in this. So, Don?
Yeah. Oh, thank you, everybody. And I said, as Christina said, it's great to be supporting the local organizations as well as Linford, and they've presented everything and helped us along with our process and getting going as a business. We have a lot of different wines. The cranberry wine's been one of our top sellers for the last few months. Basically, just people are loving it. So taking it to go, have it drink here. And we've got a heated patio and a heated tent. So we've got plenty of outdoor seating. But we'd love to see everybody come out and see us sometime. I want to say thanks for having us involved with the virtual gala tonight. And Christina, again, thanks for you guys, for you and the Linford group. We appreciate all your support.
Cheers.
Salud.
Wow, what a great wine tasting. Did you enjoy the cranberry wine? Comment in the box below to tell us your favorite. Over the past 16 years, the library has had the opportunity to dedicate many benches, shelves, and papers in the names of community members. G. Parker was a board member at the library. He passed away last year, and the Friends of the Library took up a collection in his name. Out of those funds received, the library will be dedicating the rustic log bench in the library's new backyard in his name. We thank his wife Sharon for helping us determine how best to remember him. Next up, we have Orland Park Mayor Keith Pika.
I want to congratulate the Orland Park Library on the groundbreaking of their new renovations. These renovations will be a nice addition to Orland Park, and I strongly encourage our residents to take advantage of them. These renovations will include meeting and auditorium space that can be used by local businesses and community groups. These groups need our support more than ever, and I want to take this time to encourage you to support the businesses that were closed for a period of time in 2020. We lean on those businesses to support our community, and now is the time for our community to support them. The Orland Park Library is one of the top 200 architectural sites in Illinois and is an asset to Orland Park residents and businesses. I receive a lot of emails with suggestions for the Orland Park Library, as people don't realize that it is a separate entity from the Village of Orland Park and has its own board. While they are a separate entity, since I took office 3.5 years ago, our relationship has strengthened, and we have worked cooperatively on projects like the storyboards in Humphrey Woods. Upon completion of these renovations, the Village and the library are looking forward to having a display in the library that rotates pieces from the Orland Park Museum so that people can learn about Orland Park's history. I again want to congratulate the library on the completion of these renovations, and I encourage everyone to come out and see them for yourself.
I'm Chief Mike Scopio of the Orland Fire Protection District. I've lived in Orland a little over 48 years, and our fire district is happy to be partnering with the library CPR classes. We've held classes or events where firefighters have gone and read books, and the library is partnering with us with our dementia-friendly Orland Park. I have a long history with the library, going back to when the library was on 143rd Street. At that time, it was quite a small library, and then it moved to the location by Brown Park. You know, growing up here in Orland, that was the main place to do your homework and your research. So as I grew up in grade school and then high school and then going to Moraine Valley and then Southern Illinois, I spent a lot of time at our library in the new facility, which is really not new anymore. It's been here for many, many years. But to us, it was the new facility. But as a father of 6 kids also, we spend a lot of time at the library, reading books, doing research, and just enjoying the wonderful setting that the Orland Fire or the Orland Library District has. There's really not another library to compare to what is offered at our library. And here at the Fire District, we are always very proud to partner with the library. Like I said, for years, the Fire District and the library have cooperated on many events and continue to look forward to the teamwork and making our community better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. There is so much love for the library here tonight. After tonight, the library will contact all winners of the silent auction with directions about how to pick up your winnings at the library. If you have won a larger painting, please make sure to bring a vehicle big enough to safely transport your winnings. Next up, we have Youth Services Manager Brandy Smits and Friends of the Library Board President Donna Body.
Good evening. My name is Brandy Smits, and I am the Youth Services Manager at the Orland Park Public Library. We hope that you've enjoyed this grand reveal of the renovated areas of the library tonight. There was a great need for this renovation. Whenever you begin a renovation as a municipality, you want to make sure that it is in line with what the community needs. That has been so true with the library's renovation. When the library building on Ravinia Avenue opened on September 12, 2004, Orland Park was very different. The world was different. A large section of the library was set aside for the reference collection, and a small section was set aside for computers. If you think back to 2004, the flip phone was all the rage, and if you were someone who texted, you were used to clicking each number 3 times to find some of those letters. These phones did not even have the internet. The first iPhone didn't hit the market until 2007. So today, most people that come to work or study in the library will bring a smartwatch or a laptop or a smartphone or even an e-reader. The library building wasn't built with the idea that technology would explode like it has. Over the years, we have added access points and boosted the library's Wi-Fi to help our patrons connect all of their devices to the internet at the library. But we needed more data drops to make a big change to the internet availability within the building. The world has changed in other ways as well. Local groups, nonprofits, and associations needed a place to meet. We offer the meeting rooms during pre-COVID times to anyone with an Orland Park library card and a local association or organization that needs to meet fewer than 12 times per year. The library has become a meeting place for many local groups. Last year, the library had as many as 65 groups meeting in the meeting rooms at the library regularly. Some of these groups included Boy Scouts and homeowners associations. There were times when the library had to turn people away, though. Their meetings would have broken fire codes in even our largest meeting room. When Holly Jolly Storytime with Santa outgrew the Youth Services Storytime room, it moved into the large meeting room, and now it's even outgrowing that. The community needed a bigger meeting room for the library. With the passing of the Affordable Care Act, the library for the first time ever was required to provide a clean, secluded place to nursing mothers on staff that needed to express breast milk. As you may have guessed, most librarians today are still women. Staff pointed out that it would be even better if we had a lactation room that was available to all nursing moms visiting the library. Something that didn't exist in 2004 was the concept of a sensory room. We want patrons to be able to visit and stay. And sometimes our young patrons can feel overwhelmed and need a low stimuli space to take a break. We are so excited to provide them with such a space. We want them to have what they need. Out of these needs and more came the library renovation. The library underwent a $3.2 million renovation with money from the library's reserves and with help from the Eileen S. Andrew Foundation, Today's Business Solutions, and Darwin Furniture and Mattress. The library was all set to do a sneak peek tour of Phase 2 of the renovation on April 4th. Cooper's Hawk was donating wine to the event, Gatto's was donating sausage and peppers, 94 West Steak and Seafood was donating steak. It was going to be a very nice tour and event to help fundraise for the library's capital campaign fund. This fund contains money used for building maintenance. It all comes from a very specific line item in the library's budget, and it can only be allocated in certain ways. But on March 16th, everything changed. We had been hearing about the coronavirus in China for a while. We had heard about it potentially coming here. The library had even in early March taken all the puppets and toys off the floor in the preschool area. On March 16th, at the approval of the Library Board of Trustees, the library closed and we canceled the April 4th tour. We stopped all in-person programming and almost all the staff went home. There are things about the library that had to keep running. For example, the book drops can get too full and the air handlers and furnace had to be maintained. Packages kept coming, not to mention that we were in a full-blown renovation. Black plastic hung all over the library, closing off the back of half of the adult services department. The teen area was heavily under construction. Carpet was pulled up. The large meeting room was studs and concrete. Fortunately, the governor allowed construction to continue through the state shutdown. Our architect, White & Company, brought in hand sanitizer, masks, gloves, and more. Only one crew of construction workers would work at any one time. We had one scare where a construction worker did have a relative contract the virus in those early months. He hadn't even been in contact with that relative, but they sent him home and cleaned just to be safe. While we were home, we produced tons of story times and answered many emails. We moved book discussions onto Zoom. We walked about 100 patrons through trying out ebooks for the first time, and our ebook and audiobook collection grew significantly. The Youth Services Department reimagined their in-person programs and made them compatible for an online audience. Baby Storytime with Miss Stephanie on Facebook was born. Miss Vanessa picked up her STEAM programming by showing kids how to make ice cream at home with supplies they might already have. Miss Kara created short DIY craft videos featuring simple supplies that families might have in their homes. Mr. Alex soon joined after. He put Once Upon a Time Storytime online by filming himself and Sailor Duck in the Youth Services Storytime room. Miss Darnetta filmed Night Owl Storytimes. Miss Alejandra filmed bite-sized book discussions for our teen and middle grade readers. Our teen librarian, Erin, figured out a way to do reader's advisory from home by posting onto Instagram. In May, almost all library staff returned to work inside the library. We did what we could. We started quarantining materials. We dropped off sealed totes of books to homebound patrons. We started a curbside pickup of materials. We processed all the materials we had ordered while we were home just to make sure that the newest books were still available to our patrons. In mid-June, we reopened the building at first by appointment and then moved to walk-ins on July 1st. Being the only library in the area open made study rooms too popular to make the process safe. We pulled back and we only offered study rooms to patrons with Orland Park library cards. We established cleaning charts and lists for each department. Several times a day, a staff member goes around and sanitizes tables, chairs, railings, and other touch points. After we came back to the library, new types of filmed story times ideas came about. We did a whole series of Kids Ask the Librarian questions where kids can submit questions such as, how many books are there in the library? And what is the Space Force? We started a series where librarians would play video games with each other and by themselves, and it's pretty popular. Imagine that adventure story time came later. So did Science or Magic. The Joy of Finger Painting is a fun parody on Bob Ross's old show on public television, where he would commonly tell viewers that anyone can paint. We received a lot of traction from a somewhat interactive program we did about homeschooling. Two of our librarians, Miss Darnetta and Miss Alejandra, created 5 instructional videos about different aspects and questions regarding homeschooling. And they allowed patrons to submit their own questions, which were answered in the 6th video. We also did programs in conjunction with the Comers Children's Hospital. We did a teddy bear clinic to help kids feel comfortable visiting the doctor. Over the summer, we were feeling a little more confident about ourselves. We still really wanted to connect back with the stakeholders about the renovation. We had learned Zoom, and we wanted to still do a tour of the renovated areas of the library. We wanted to show them the improvements to the building that would help residents use the library better for generations to come. We surmised that the very first tour of the library building should be virtual. We could no longer expect people to visit and gather in the library. We know that the parking lot has to be redone, and we have to replace the other half of the library roof in the coming years. The Capital Campaign Fund is meant for building expenses, and it is needed to be replenished after the renovation. We also knew that our funding was not as secure as previous years, with the pandemic having affected every aspect of life. We were also moved by the hardships that businesses have gone through during this tough time with COVID-19. We wanted to partner with as many businesses as possible to help them spread their business name. Businesses are community stakeholders too. Out of this gala, we hope that we get a chance to share in the appreciation of literacy and our building's resources together as a community. We have plans to do fun and exciting in-person family-oriented events utilizing our new story room and the backyard when we can all safely meet together again. We can't wait until we get to see our youngest patrons back in the library again.
Good evening. I'm Donna Body. I'm president of the Friends of the Library, and I'm very happy to welcome you to Orland Park Public Library's Gala this evening. We want to thank you for purchasing a ticket and for hopefully going ahead and bidding on some of our items that we have for raffle. We've got a great array of things for you to bid on. As president of the library, I've been volunteering here with but I've been a member of the library for 42 years since I moved to Orland Park in 1978 and raised my children going to the old library. And my one son, who was in medical school, used to come here and use the rooms at the library to when he was home, he would use the rooms to study. And I've been, was a teacher, and so I often came here to look for resource materials, work with study groups when I was getting my master's, etc. The programs we have are wonderful. We go ahead and we really have all kinds of things for everybody's interests. Everything from concerts to, I've taken genealogy courses, listened to many historical speakers because I'm a historical fiction person, so I really like history. And children's programs, my kids grew up just loving the library. I'd bring all 3 of them when I was with them, and they were just regulars. Everybody knew them by name. We're very fortunate to have a library of our type here in Orland Park. Such a wonderful, actually it's like a memorial to learning in our village, especially the new library here. We're happy with all the improvements they've made over the years, and especially now that they're moving into the 21st century. And more media is available, and media programs and online programs, especially during the COVID crisis. They have been just wonderful in reaching out to the community and offering all kinds of things for all ages, which is very important, especially those of you who may be more stranded at home, and also for our children who really rely on the kinds of things the library offered. And if you haven't been using it, I would suggest you take advantage of all the wonderful programs we have. So I want to thank you for participating in our gala, and I hopefully you may consider joining the Friends of the Library. We do run the recycled reads. We have a new facility, basically a room in the library, which is beautiful. And we are able to sort the books into more categories so that you can find what you're looking for and get them at basically bargain basement prices. And then you can always return them and donate again. Some of them are discarded reads and discarded videos that the library takes out of circulation every once in a while, and others are donations. Right now, of course, we've not been receiving too many donations. We start and stop depending on what's happening with the COVID crisis. But we are really happy to do this for the community, and we welcome you this evening and hope you have a lovely time looking at all the different additions and changes that have been made in our physical library, and also which is going to enable us to do more things in the future. So thank you for being a part of the gala this evening.
Thanks, Donna. We would like to thank the Friends of the Library for partnering with the library on this event. Tonight, we're also wanting to thank the artists who donated their art to this virtual gala and silent auction. You'll see in the silent auction the Mallard Crossing framed art. It's 17 inches by 23 inches. Make sure to look at all the descriptions on the art to make sure you know what the size is. Pictures can be deceiving. It was done by a local artist named Ted Hoka. You'll also see Gray Mountain. This local art was created by Ken Blisnick. It's also framed. You can see the mountains and the pine trees in this colored pencil drawing. It is a landscape that was inspired by his time in Colorado. Blisnick says that art helped him through a time when he was fighting cancer. You might also see the acrylic called Lady Blue by local artist Linda NYE. Those who liked the color aqua or Tiffany blue might appreciate this art piece. The library has a featured Artist of the Month each month. Before COVID-19, artists who exhibited their art on the walls upstairs in the library would be invited to the library one Friday night to answer any questions from local residents that they had about the art. We plan to continue to do that after our COVID-19 plan to reopen finishes. That would be phase 5. Candace Wark and Shirley Nenny, the Windflow photography team, presented in previous years. They even brought in their setup and showed patrons how to create their art. Windflow photography creates their art by taking pictures of smoke traveling through a wind tunnel. One very small painting that is a very big deal as part of the virtual gala and silent auction is Justin Castanada's As You Wish watercolor. Justin is a comic artist and children's book creator from Chicago's South Side. He is the creator of the When I Was Little picture book series and the hardcover children's book Heart. He's also contributed to projects like the Archie Yearbook. He's a pretty well-known artist nationally. Tonight, we'd also like to thank you. The library is here for the Orland Park community. Whether you use the library or not on a regular basis, you understand the need for it. The library is a place to go. It keeps teens busy. A lot of local parents don't know this, but the reason why the library doesn't close on most school holidays is because the library wants to remain a place for teens to go that's safe when school isn't in session. The library is also a place to meet friends and to keep up an active social life after retirement. It's also a great place to get a book with large print text and read the newspaper. When COVID-19 restrictions are lifted, the library will be a great place for local organizations to hold meetings. If you have spent as much time in the libraries as I have, you are likely to have heard the sentiment that sounds something like this. We have Google, so why do we need libraries? Well, this sentiment ignores the most important part of the library, the librarian. Almost all staff here with a librarian title have a master's degree in information sciences. Nearly 30 of the library's staff have a master's degree. Google offers quick results and access to websites that would be otherwise unknown, but it can't bring you the latest bestsellers at no cost. It can't help you borrow the latest Marvel movie, and it can't help you research a new car or toaster on Consumer Reports. In this time when many are questioning whether what they see on the news is real, librarians can help residents find accurate information. Misinformation is a problem that libraries are uniquely suited to battle. Now I will be announcing the names of the raffle winners. By purchasing a ticket to the gala, you were entered into the raffle. Tonight's raffle prizes are a 4x8-inch paver, which could cost you $150 to buy, and an 8x8-inch paver, which would cost you a hefty $225 at the library. Pavers are a way to leave your mark on the library. Each paver is engraved and installed in the library's front sidewalk. Winners were drawn from a virtual hat and are totally random. Tonight's winner for the 4x8 inch paver is Jennifer Shams. And tonight's winner for the 8x8 inch paver is James Carberry. James and Jennifer, the library will email you after the gala to gather the details of the engravings you would like to see on your pavers. And now I'd like to turn it over to Library Board Treasurer Dan McMillan.
Good evening. I'm Dan McMillan, and I want to thank you for attending the Building on Our Future Virtual Gala tonight. We chose this name because the library's success is this community's success. It is our future we are building on. Now, this renovation was completed by Waite & Company. Leisha Smith is the architect of record, with Michael Barnes being the design architect. Michael is also the original architect of the Orland Park Public Library building, something that we are very proud of. Like the mayor said earlier, this building is an award-winning building. It was awarded the designation of one of Illinois' 200 greatest places in 2018. Now, I would also like to recognize some people who we worked with during this renovation. Michael Barnes was very instrumental in keeping with the continuity of this project, since, as we noted earlier, he was the original architect of the Orland Park Public Library building. Lisa Smith worked tirelessly to make sure everything was perfect. Divya Jain, another architect from Waite & Company, kept us up to date on progress and helped us select the furniture and youth services and the teen loft that is now more suited to the age groups these areas serve. In preparation for this renovation, we had done a master space plan study with assessments and recommendations in November of 2018. We found that the library has become a center for community engagement and learning. The library needed to create flexible, new spaces to accommodate patrons' needs without compromising the beauty and openness of the library building. The library has been holistically redesigned, upgraded, rearranged, and refreshed in order to fulfill the current and future needs of the community here in Orland Park and the surrounding communities. We have been doing a lot of modernizing over the past few years. The library launched a new website last year, which I encourage you to check out, especially see the staff pick sections. I'm always pleased when I check out the staff pick sections, always find a few nuggets. When staff read books they would like to recommend, they add short descriptions of these new books there. The library is offering the book discussions on Zoom now too. If you have some time on the fourth Monday of the month at 10 a.m., you can join Pages and Pastries. New book discussions are being offered for the January through April cycle as well. We have a new book discussion called Overbooked coming up in January. They are going to read books like The Alchemist and Circe. Sounds very, very interesting. We have a new book discussion called Once Upon a Crime, where we'll be talking about detective books. They'll be reading I'll Be Gone in the Dark in January and discussing it on Tuesday, January 12th at 7 p.m. on Zoom. The library has started its very first movie discussion too. We are going to be discussing movies like Bohemian Rhapsody, Crazy Stupid Love, Now You See Me, and A League of Their Own, one Monday night each month on Zoom. Now, if you aren't comfortable going out, but you really miss that interpersonal conversation, these events might be for you. Or maybe you know someone who could use this. If you have kids, see the library's online calendar. The library is offering pickup of different craft kits on days throughout the next 4 months. Each kit is most appropriate for a certain age group. Story times are available. They are broadcasted on the library's YouTube and Facebook channels throughout the week. There are computer classes and lectures on the library's YouTube channel as well. And we have thanked many of our gala sponsors tonight, but we haven't talked much about our capital campaign donors. Several community members have stepped up this year to make a donation to the library's capital campaign that will make a difference in people's lives. Tonight, we would like to thank Bert Grasso and Grasso family from Grasso Graphics for donating. We'd also like to thank Klein Thorpe and Jenkins Law Firm for donating. We would like to thank Waite & Company for donating a bench to the library. We would also like to thank Sharon Fitz once again for making a donation. The boardroom at the library is also known as the Fitz-McCoy Room. This room was dedicated in their honor. We would like to recognize the Healy family tonight for their generous donation. We would like to also announce tonight the dedication of the Nancy and William Healy Family Patron Holds Shelf. We would also like to thank library staff and leadership. Library Director Mary has been with the Orland Park Public Library for 24 years, and she has been director for over 12 years. She is an inspiration to the younger librarians, and her leadership has helped the library pull through this pandemic and stay open to serve the public. Assistant Library Director Mary Adamowski has been with the library 33 years, and she has been the point person for the renovation that the library has just undergone. She worked with architects and contractors to make sure the library stayed on budget and completed the project on time. Now, we hope you have enjoyed yourself tonight. We hope to see you all at the library when it is safe to come out again. Now, the silent auction will close soon, so get your bids in now. Thank you, everyone, for joining us online tonight. Have a wonderful evening and a great weekend. I also want to mention that we will leave the chat box open for a little bit after for you to say goodbye to one another.